This episode is brought to you today by Whitehall Mortgage, where there's a will, there's a Whitehall. Buying a home starts by getting a pre-approval, and nobody does it better than Doug in Dallas. Call them today at 570-562-7505 or apply online at whitehallmortgagefinancial.com. Hey everybody, I'm Dave Wychak. I am the host of the Real Estate Right Now podcast, and today I've got a really fun episode that I wanted to talk about. As you guys know, I also own a real estate school along with owning my own real estate company. One of the questions, we just had a group that graduated last month. We got another group starting out here. And one of the things I hear, one of the big questions is, Dave, what do I do once I graduate from this class? And one of the things I always say is interview in multiple brokerages, right? Because where you go is a big decision. One thing I talk about, it's kind of like a little, I actually think it's hilarious. I'm sure most people probably don't. But one thing I say when these students graduate the real estate class, I say, guys, what's the difference between complete and finished? And, I get some different responses. I always tell them, as far as real estate is concerned, I tell them the difference is if you pick the right real estate brokerage, you'll feel complete. But if you pick the wrong one, you're finished. And that is the difference between complete and finished. So today, what I want to talk about on this episode is what do you need to know before deciding on a real estate brokerage to work for? So if you're going to interview in multiple places, or if you're thinking about making a change, here's 7 things that you can write down. And these are a great place to start. You got to know these things before you make your pick. Number 1, first and foremost, what is the commission structure and what are the fees that I'll be paying to work at this brokerage? You can't be a realtor without understanding how you're paid. And I hear people tell me all the time, they say, well, Dave, I'm doing great. I'm making 80%. And then I say, okay, are there any other fees? Yeah, I pay X amount of dollars for E&O insurance, and then I have a transaction fee, and then there's an 8% marketing fee and a 6% franchise fee, and then there's this other thing that I have to pay. And it's like, before you know it, their 80% looks a lot like 57%. So I think before you pick a brokerage, you have to understand the commission structure, understand the fees or lack of fees that the brokerage will charge, because that way you'll know, hey, if I'm someone that sells $5 million a year, this is the amount of money I can plan on making based on what I'm going to be charged or how I'm going to get paid. So first and foremost, you got to understand how you get paid and you got to understand what those fees are for. The second thing you need to understand before picking a brokerage is what are the training and mentorship plans and opportunities available for you. So number 1, when you're brand new, how am I going to be trained and how am I going to be mentored? Because that's a really important way to achieve success in this business. Do I get to work with other top realtors? Can I learn from some of the best in the industry if I decide to come to this company? And eventually, who knows, if you then use that to become a top realtor yourself, hey, is there ever a chance where I can become a trainer, where I can become a mentor to new agents if I get to that point in my career? And then are those opportunities paid opportunities or whatever there may be? So you should know the type of training and mentorship that is available to you, and if eventually that's something that you could break into yourself. Another thing that you need to know, number 3, what does this office do in regard to leads and marketing support? All right, is the office providing you with leads? Are they charging you for those leads? Better yet, are they teaching you how to create your own leads? All right, are they supporting you in some of the things that you want to do? Is there some type of coaching or training available if you want it? Now, look, maybe you're someone who simply just wants to be left alone to figure it out on your own. And if that's true, that's fine. But for a lot of people, understanding how leads and the type of support that you're going to have, you need to know that before you pick a brokerage. The 4th thing, and I think this one's really important and sometimes it can be overlooked. What's the culture of the office and what's the team environment? What does that feel like? All right. I do think there's a level of energy and culture at every brokerage. And I do think it matters, all right? So how do the realtors at this brokerage get motivated? Are they doing things that you want to do? Are they a brokerage that is going to insist upon you cold calling? Are they a brokerage that's going to insist upon office hours? Do they want to do video? Are they active in their community? I think you have to pick a brokerage where you're going to fit the culture and fit the team, Because even though you're going to be an independent contractor, trust me when I tell you, you're going to be part of a team when you're at a brokerage, and you're going to want to be somewhere where you're going to feel comfortable. Now, what is the availability of the broker, and what type of support will the broker provide? I think there's a lot of realtors out there that like working at a company where the broker is invisible. I know locally, I have friends that work at companies where they never actually met their hiring broker. Maybe they did a phone interview or whatever it may be. That's not the way we operate. I think I'm hands-on to the point where I'm available, but not overbearing. And I'm not going to, I tell my realtors all the time at 9:01, I'm not calling them on the phone. Hey, are you guys up? Are you working? What are you doing? What do you got planned today? That's not part of it, right? But if you reach out to your broker, are they available to you? And that doesn't mean immediately. Right. But if you send a message to your broker, are they getting back to you later in the day or the next day? Or is there some other way that you have access to them? I think especially when you're new, that's helpful. I know I spend Monday through Friday, I'm in my office every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on Saturdays and Sundays, just being available to my agents. So if they want to come in, they can make an appointment with me, they can schedule time. You need to know that about your broker before you pick to go there. Another thing is, what type of technology and tools are going to be provided for you as a realtor? Is it a paperless office? That's a big deal, because if you get busy, are you going to have to carry around 25 manila folders in an envelope, or is everything available to you through some type of technology platform where you can log into a computer anywhere you are and have access to all of your information? What are they doing as far as helping you improve your social media? Anything like that. I think it's really important to know. I think brokerages anymore, they have to have some type of technology and tools available that will help you advance your career. And then the seventh thing that I think you need to know before deciding on a brokerage to work for, what is the reputation and the track record of the brokerage? Especially locally, right? Like, what do people perceive about the company that you're interviewing at? Is it a well-known name? Now, look, it doesn't have to be, right? Maybe you want to go work at a brand new brokerage to be part of what gets them, what builds the reputation, right? What makes them a player in the market. Maybe you want to go somewhere that's a little bit more established. That's a personal preference, but you need to know what you're getting yourself into. Do you want to be a part of something that's growing? Do you want to be an addition to something that's already built into the neighborhood, that's built into the local community? And again, it doesn't matter what your choice is, but you do need to know that before you pick. Again, in conclusion, I think it's really important to pick a great brokerage. And what you're looking for, that's really a personal preference, right? It's up to you. But that's why I think it's so important. And this is why we encourage all of our students to interview in multiple locations, talk to multiple brokers, talk to a few agents that are working at the brokerage, and get an honest assessment of what they think of it. Sometimes people are at a brokerage, and then they get comfortable and they don't want to change. But if they had to do it all over again, maybe they would have gone someplace else. I think that's a great question to ask an agent at a brokerage that you are interviewing. Hey, if you were to do it all over again, would you have come here again? Sometimes you might be shocked to hear that answer, whether it's yes or no. Because some people will tell you, no, I wouldn't come here. And then you say, how come you're not leaving? And they say, well, I'm comfortable. This is where I am. But if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have did this instead. It's interesting, right? I think there's a lot of realtors like that out there. But picking a brokerage is a big, big determining factor of how successful you're going to be and how quickly you'll become successful in this industry. So take the time, interview multiple places, get answers, and understand the 7 things we talked about today. And I think it's going to help you make a great choice. That's all for today. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for joining us for today's episode, everybody. If you want to hear more content, follow us at Real Estate Right Now Pod on YouTube. Once you're there, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to follow me directly, check me out. It's Dave Wychak at Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials that you're already using.